Right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies about those issues. Again, losing internet here. Again, the stream stops. It looks like I might have just caught it before we go racing for our next heat, though. So sorry, no attempt at the grid in this one, but we have got underway in racing then. There's a 177 Rotax and the 177 Rotax Masters. So sort of a split grid in this one, but again, they're the same weight, they're the same carts, everything's identical. They were just in two different championships, depending on age in this one. Hopefully we're pulling through the pitches. Yes, we are. So the camera's all still working again. Thank goodness. We look to be back up and running. Right, David Simpson seems to have had a good start in this one. Try and get up what the grid was here for race number 7 of the day. Across the line they come then, a 25 in the lead of the race. So David Simpson holding on to it. It was David Simpson who started off in the lead, or in the pole position I should say. The 83 then having a bit of issues. Neil Hemming, that was getting a little bit closer comfort with another driver through the first corner. Looks as though we've lost a driver on the first lap of the race though. Ah yes, I can see them walking away from their car. That's Dennis Tolovetsiak. Sorry Dennis, I've pronounced that name incorrectly, but either way Dennis is hot-footing it to the nearest marshal post. Sadly, out of this race before lap 1 even comes to a close for Dennis. Contact warnings on the first lap as well. Archie Elliott and Oliver Appleby getting a couple of contact warnings. Still the Tony Kart branded David Simpson who leads the way, but Joshua Pickford takes the fast lap. I say that, Archie Elliott now takes the fast lap of the race on number 54. Is that Archie Elliott going for a move through the first couple of corners? No, it was the drivers in behind. It was the 49 it was, so Matt Lear just ahead of him who was making a move. Potentially Matt Lear closing down Lincoln Bailey Arneson, or is it Oliver Hutchings who was trying to battle through and Matt Lear was getting back through on Matt? We'll wait and see. Here they come around the second lap of this race. And David Simpson just holding on to a nice little gap at the front of the order. I think he's going to hope that the drivers in behind start to battle soon enough. And I say that, Joshua Pickford, Linky Bailey Arneson, still there 3rd and 4th. They're right on the back of Alan Kenyon. However, Joshua Pickford, new fastest lap of the race on the last lap, 42.01, nearly dropping down into the 41s now. Again, only driver close was Archie Elliott, 42.05 for Archie. So Archie Elliott in 7th place now on the 54, and Joshua Pickford in 3rd place on the 56, both looking very, very quick. Is that a move around the outside for 2nd place? There was some shuffling around in 2nd. I don't know if that was a move made, though. If it was, then that was round the outside at midgets, and that was a brilliant, brilliant move. Round the final corner they come. Who is in 2nd place? It is the 22 of Alan Kenyon. So no, it was Alan holding on to it around the outside. It was Joshua Pickford who darted to the inside, but couldn't quite make it stick. Still have Lincoln Bailey Arneson for company. That gap back to Oliver Hutchings, though, definitely closing. There was a new personal best for Oliver Hutchings on the last lap of 42.04. So again, around that fastest times. So Hutchings now leading the charge towards those top 4. As it's all getting very close at the front. Potential change around 3rd, 4th, 5th place. I don't think it has actually. The 58, the 56 has closed in, is it? Let's see as they come across the timing beam. So it is. The 56 Joshua Pickford has closed in now. Now we've got a much longer train at the sharp end of the order. Trying to once again post the correct link into the Forest Edge group. Right, across the line they come. Oh, okay, we're in a proper gaggle here for 2nd place now. This is perfect for David Simpson, who's continuing to put some good times in at the front of the order, continuing to extend that gap. Right, we've got drivers down in the 41s now. 41.7 for Archie Elliott. He does another one on that last lap, 41.9. 41.92 on the last lap for Archie Elliott. 41.93 for Lincoln Bailey Arneson, who now finds himself in 2nd place. He's now the one who's leading the charge towards David Simpson in the lead. David Simpson has had impressive, consistent pace at the front of the order. but he hasn't really been challenged so far in this one. They've been battling him behind so much that David hasn't really had too much to worry about near the sharp end of the order. 0.4 of a second lost on that last lap of the race. For the leader, though, they're closing in at the front. There was a move down the inside. The 56 was that of Joshua Pickford, going side by side with another driver there down into the Haynes loop. Older drivers, though, more experienced drivers, giving each other the room that they needed, and they all make it through onto the rest of the lap. Through into sector 3 they come. Down into the final corner then. That gap is definitely decreasing between the drivers at the front of the order. Just trying to wait and see. Hopefully that update. Aha, right, it's when I go back onto this. Understood. Okay, still getting used to this streaming stuff. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. This is the only championship that I do this for, so... second time ever of doing this, so hopefully you can understand some slight teething problems. Still Lincoln who's in that charge towards the leader. Oh, hello. The gap has almost closed now at the front of the order. Only Lincoln Bailey-Arneson and Oliver Hutchings have really closed in on David Simpson. Bit of a slidey moment, though, through climate. Means that the 75 just drops off ever so slightly. 38 seconds on the clock as they come across the line. Side by side in the background, though. Great bit of battling between Chris Thomas and Joshua Pickford, who has managed to get to the front by the exit of the corner. It was the 54. So, no, that's Archie Elliott that he's battling with. So, Archie Elliott gets back through on Chris Thomas. They got Joshua Pickford, Daniel Hammett and Colin Davis all for company as well there, battling from 5th to 9th place. And I can understand that Archie Elliott's in that big squabble because he's just got a contact warning. He does need to be a little bit careful. Leaders line astern then. Time is going to tick to 0. We are going to see the last lap board this time around. Only 1.1 kilometres left for Lincoln Bailey-Arneson or Oliver Hutchings to think about a move. And all three of these drivers in the standard Rotax 177 category, I believe. I think it's Alan Kenyon who leads the Masters at the moment in 4th place overall. Round sector 3 they come then. Has there been a change at the front? Has David Simpson held on to it? He has held on to it as David Simpson. Checkered flags coming out. There's only one more opportunity for a move, and it's not going to happen for Lincoln Bailey-Arneson. David Simpson is going to hold on to it across the line. Lincoln Bailey-Arneson has to settle for 2nd, and Oliver Hutchings settling for 3rd. But either way, great pace shown by all those drivers. But funnily enough, Lincoln Bailey-Arneson and Oliver Hutchings were so quick catching David Simpson for the lead, but then as soon as they caught him, they started doing identical pace to the leader. So that just shows how even when you become a 177 or a 177 master, you can still be open to that issue of where you catch someone and then you end up copying their lines and their braking points and you end up doing exactly the same pace as them. Obviously, if you're doing the same things, that's going to happen, but it's a natural human reaction to do. As you're watching someone else, you start copying their actions, and it's difficult to not do that. Right. Alan Kenyon and Archie Elliott, we have top 5. Alan Kenyon taking the win there in Masters, if I'm not mistaken. Let's double check that. On here, yeah, that's correct. So Alan Kenyon the winner in Masters. Archie Elliott 5th place overall, 4th in the class. Chris Thomas was 2nd in the class, 6th overall. Joshua Pickford 5th in the standard 177s, 7th overall. And then the last of your podium sitters on the Masters was Colin Davis in 8th place. Daniel Hammett and Ollie Hankett ran out the top 10 with Chris Sawyer, Matt Lear, Sophie Jeffrey, Neil Hemming, Oliver Appleby, Daniel Zambo, Gary Cox. So Daniel Zambo was the last of your 16 finishers there. Gary Cox, who lost on lap number 4. And of course, Dennis Tletsiak, we lost on the first lap of the race. And it looks as though potentially Jimmy Galloway either didn't get to the start or didn't even make it out on track on that one. So sadly for Jimmy, hopefully we'll see Jimmy and Dennis back out for heat number 2 later on today. Attempt at a break now as we've got just a kart being cleared off of the circuit before the next race heads out on circuit. So that's 7 races done so far today. Then next out on circuit, looking forward to this. Once again, out on circuit, first heat of the day then for the superkarts. Supercarts head out of the pit lane. They were so excited to watch back at round number 2. Of course, at round number 2, they had their Gold Cup, where I think it was the top 3 got a cash prize, potentially the top 5. And there was some really good racing. Hopefully, that continues on today for round number 4. Let's run you through the grid then. Of course, sadly didn't have time in that last one to run you through the grid with slight issues, but hopefully back up and running and all is going okay at the moment. So say that. I'm just going to quickly double check that. Yes, okay, cool. We are all still live and going okay. Apologies about all the changes in streams and the changes in links for today. Issues with the internet. Internet not playing ball at the best of times. Let's run you through the grid. Callum Smith and Sam Gillis are on the front row for this one. Spencer Chappell and Ross Cornick on row number 2. Matthew Duncan and Mark Smith are on row 3, with Graham Payne and Harry Morris on row 4. Daniel Buckland and Fraser Everett round out the top 10 there in row 5. And Reece Buckland and Ian O'Rourke, the 12 drivers on the grid for this Superkart heat number 1. Now, of course, slight changes when we go into the Superkart racing. It'll be a standing start for these gearbox karts. And not only that, they'll be skipping out the bus stop chicane entirely. So you might be able to see on the cameras. I'm going to double check back on here now. I think you should be able to see on the top camera, as they come through the shot, you'll see in the background, they'll come flying past through the bus stop chicane, whereas you will have seen in the previous heat them slowing quite considerably to take the right and then left-hander. These karts, far too fast. They're going to be flying straight through. Right, looks like we're about ready to go to the start. Drivers look to the lights and we're underway and racing for the first Superkarts heat of the day. Callum Smith gets a good start from pole position, side by side though, through the Haynes Loop with Sam Gillis, who is the driver that emerges victorious. It looks... Hold on a second, was it Spencer Chappell who emerged victorious there? It was Spencer Chappell on the number 25. Takes the lead of the race already, so from P3 on the grid, battles through immediately. Move for second place as well, down the inside, up at midgets that is. Who's managed to sneak back through? Is that Callum Smith and Sam Gillis going at it? Look how much of a lead Spencer Chappell has already got in this race. Across the line he comes. There's the rest of the field. It's the number 14 of Ross Cornick who's got to second place. The 77 of Callum Smith under a lot of pressure. In behind, so was the 18. That was Sam Gillis. Under pressure, and it's Matthew Duncan, I think, who has managed to slip through. Mark Smith getting involved as well. So it's all kicked off in this first Superkart heat of the day. But Spencer Chappell already pretty much in a different postcode at the front of the order. It was almost 2 seconds when he came across the line last time of asking. Still Ross Cornick in second place, who now has quite a considerable gap himself. It's Matthew Duncan who has got through into third place though. He's just ahead of Callum Smith now, as Mark Smith has followed through into 5th place. Sam Gillis loses a couple of positions on that last lap, down into 6th. Changes in behind as well. Harry Morris making up a place on Reece Buckland. And Ian O'Rourke was through on Fraser Everett as well. Ian O'Rourke on the 81 there, heading through Haynes Loop. Your only novice here in the Superkarts. I think someone has got to be utterly insane to be a novice in a Superkart, but hey, Ian is going at it and he's doing well out there on circuit at the moment. Still a huge lead held by Spencer Chappell at the front of the order. Over 3 seconds now, that gap between himself and Ross Cornick. Callum Smith's lost a couple of positions on that last one. Mark Smith has slipped through into 4th place. Anyone else, I would assume that they're related, but Smith is a pretty common last name, so definitely potential that they have absolutely nothing to do with each other. But either way, one Smith gets through on the other. Move for third up at midgets. The drivers love that move up at the top section of the circuit. Of course, at the end of what is for them a very long straight. And Mark Smith through on Matthew Duncan for third place then. Across the line they come, confirmed on your timing screen. Mark Smith up into those podium positions. Just over 3 minutes left to go on this one then. Of course, I do recall it's showing on the notice board over on the other side of the circuit. The heats for Superkarts, I think, slightly shorter. 6 minutes plus 1 lap instead of 7? if I remember correctly. So many things to remember this morning. Let's have a look at me notes. 8 minutes plus 1 lap, my apologies. It's always 7 or 8, you never quite know. 8 minutes plus 1 lap standard heat. This supercar heat, though, only 6 minutes. You'll be able to hear on the camera, even though I've turned it down to half volume on the cameras, you'll be able to hear how loud these supercarts are. Fantastic to see them zooming around this Forest Edge kart circuit. AC1 of Ian O'Rourke just about to be lapped then by Spencer Chappell, and Spencer Chappell, his lead is ridiculous, gets a little bit balked there by O'Rourke, funnily enough. Through Haynes Loop they come then, and he finally gets through on the back marker. Once again, the 55 there coming to your camera shot with the Haynes Loop. Again, that's Fraser Everett just finding his way through as, oh no, who's had an issue there through the first couple of corners? Is that Sam Gillis on the 18? I think it might be, you know. Driver off into the pit lane. I have a feeling it's Sam Gillis. Doesn't look like his timing's updating, so I think that might just be correct, sadly, for Sam. Only just over halfway through and potentially out of this race already then. Onto a new lap goes Spencer Chappell. 37.4 fastest lap of the race for Spencer. Last lap was a 38.4, but he was held up quite considerably through the first couple of corners. Keep looking down and seeing no internet, and it scares me every time. I think we're still good. YouTube's not too happy with me, but either way, it seems to be working, and that's the main thing. Less than a minute left to go on the timing. Indeed, Sam Gillis was the driver who pulled off into the pits only a lap or so ago. There goes Spencer once again. Still a huge gap in the lead of this race. What is it now as Ross Cornick comes across the line? 6 seconds now the gap between Spencer and Ross. And it does seem, although slowly, as if maybe Mark Smith and Harry Morris in 3rd and 4th are closing in on Ross Cornick. Harry Morris, I hadn't noticed him all race. Where's Harry come from? Harry started in 8th place in this one, so up 4 positions in this race so far for Harry Morris. It's been a good run through the order for him. Some good points towards the championship tally. 18 seconds on the clock as Spencer Chappell crosses the line. Starts the penultimate lap of the race. Still a close battle for 3rd place. Has Harry Morris got through? The 41 through on the 96 then, and yes, indeed, my eyes weren't deceiving me. Harry Morris has snuck through into the top 3 on the penultimate, well, the penultimate to the penultimate lap of the race. There is Spencer Chappell once again. They come around so quickly, it almost catches me by surprise a little bit. Spencer Chappell onto the last lap of the race then. Ross Cornick still 6 seconds behind, so they've sort of equalised pace now at the front of the order. Harry Morris through in 3rd place. What's happened to Mark Smith? Yes, so the 41 has come through, but Mark Smith has not. Oh dear, he's pulled over at the second to last corner. So on the exit of Climate, Mark Smith has ground to a halt. I think potentially you guys might have seen that before me. He's just on the right hand side of the top picture on your screen. Now that is gutting. Second to last lap and pulls over and out of this race. But Spencer Chappell comes through already and takes the win on the road, does the number 25. Ross Cornick finishes in P2. Harry Morris, great run through from 8th to 3rd place. Benefiting from a couple of drivers there. Conking out particularly Mark Smith there, sadly for him, on the last lap of the race, not making it to the checkered flag. Matthew Duncan then gains 4th place from that as well. Callum Smith up into the top 5 too. Graham Payne finishes in 6th place. Here is Reece Buckland across the line in 7th. Then Daniel Buckland will come across the line to finish in 8th place. Ian O'Rourke will finish in 9th, with Fraser Everett in 10th. Mark Smith will end up basically getting gifted 11th place there because of him going out, sadly, with a lap to go. So everyone who comes through gains a lap back on him, takes the place away. And Sam Gillis we lost on lap number 4 with that mechanical issue, pulling into the pit lane. But heat number 1 of Superkarts then over and out, done and dusted, finito for the first heat of the day for Superkarts. That was race number 8 here for round number 4 of the championship. Honda Cadets are back out again. It's their second heat of the day, so it's the second time we're seeing them out on track today. But it's going to be the first time we see them on the stream because, of course, we missed out on their first heat. Unsurprisingly, though, it was Arthur Way who took the win in that first heat of the day. Can he do it in heat number 2? We've not got too long to find out. Out on circuit then go the Honda Cadets, their second heat of the day. Hopefully, my live timing and stuff is going to load in. Hopefully, all still working. I'm going to keep talking as if it's still all working. Oliver Spence and Daniel Barton are going to be the drivers on the front row of the grid for this one. Let's see if we can reload the live timing and get this working. Stanley Keeley and Kobe Wood, the drivers on row number 2. Alex Gasson and Arthur Ray are on row 3. Oliver Ratton and James Devereaux on row 4. With Seth Jones and Tyler Banks rounding out the top 10 on row 5. Alfie Allen and Connor Yu are on row 6. With Max Craven and Harry Duncan row 7. Now Alex Roach, a lone driver on row number 8, rounds out the 15 karts on the grid. For some reason I am incapable of loading live timing at the moment, as it's gone back to Ethernet connection, which is not good. Right, as the drivers line up, getting ready for this standing start, I'll try and guide you through the race as best as I can, whilst trying to sort these internet issues. Okay, it says Ethernet is properly connected now, however, it's still refusing to load anything, which leads me to believe that that is a lie. Right, well, drivers are looking to the lights, getting this underway and racing. Good start from your pole sitter, the number 90. Gets off to a great start as Oliver Spence immediately chops across to take the lead. I have to try and do this one without live timing for the moment. Changes for third place there, 23 and 41 going side by side. That's Alex Gaskin making a good start from 5th place, trying to get up into the podium spots already. Yeah, cameras all loading in fine. Everything's still seemingly loading in okay. We are, I believe, still live. No idea whether live timing's still not working for me at the moment. Around the final corner they come then. Move down the inside. There is Arthur Way. Up to 2nd place already. What a start. Once again then from Arthur Way. Started 6th place in this one, already up to 2nd place, leading the charge towards the leader. It is the 58 of Daniel Barton, who has snuck through as well on that first lap of the race, has relegated Oliver Spence down the order after he did get that decent getaway. Getting absolutely nothing here on the live timing. Watching out for when Arthur Way goes for this move. He's looking for it up into Sector 3, goes for it down the inside. So up at midgets then, Arthur Way takes the lead of the race for himself. Earlier on than even I was expecting, I think, in this one. Right, cool, you can hear me. It is still working. We are still connected here, thank goodness. I've just checked on my phone. So it's just that we can't seem to get the live timing working at the moment. So apologies about that, ladies and gentlemen. Trying to get it reloaded as we speak. You can see on your screen it's still stuck on the Honda Cadet loading screen. I've got contact warnings coming in as well, so weirdly, it seems to just be the actual timing screen that isn't loading in, weirdly. So I'll guide you through this one as best I can with only my eyes. But as we've already found out earlier on in this race, they're not great. So I'll do the best I can. Arthur Way very much still in the lead of the race here, but not dropping the drivers around him as quickly as maybe I would have expected. 2nd place still holding on then. And who is that they're dragging with them? Number 90, that is, trying to get back involved once again. So that's Oliver Spence, still in 3rd place there. In behind the 41 of Stanley Kearley, trying to get through into 4th place. Now, who is that he's battling with? It's the 23 of Alex Gaskin. There's Stanley Kearley in 4th, Alex Gaskin in 3rd at the moment. Trying to battle through. I say that, no, that's incorrect. It's Stanley Kearley in 4th, Alex Gaskin in 5th. Arthur Way just continuing to slowly but surely build out that gap at the front of the order. As I've gone back to having no official internet on here. Oh my goodness. This Ethernet really is not playing ball today. Hopefully we switch back over to my phone internet in a mere moment. Arthur Way across the line once again then. Still a top 3 as they were. I will say though, 4th and 5th starting to close in then. I can't tell you because I have no idea what their lap times are at the moment. The 23 ahead of the 41 now. So Alex Gaskin and Stanley Kearley still as they were. And Alex Gaskin leading their push towards the 2 leaders. So Arthur Way then leading the championship, leading this race at the moment. Worst result of a P3 all season. Around number 1, Arthur Way got a 3rd in the first heat, and then 2nd place in the other 2 heats and the final. Then at round 2, Arthur Way won everything. At round 3, Arthur Way won everything again. He's won heat 1 here today at round number 4. He's in the lead of heat 2 here at round number 4. Could this be three perfect days from 4 rounds of the season? And I don't think there'll be anyone more deserving of an SC plate to stick onto their kart after today's action. But you never know what can happen in motor racing, so keep your eye out. Still potential for some changes. Can anyone topple Arthur Way from the top of the order? Close for 2nd place up at midgets. I was going to say I don't think close enough to go for a move, but they were close enough to go for the move. Down the inside for 2nd place then. And this is just giving more opportunity for Arthur Way to continue scampering off at the front. It's the number 90 who went for that move down the inside. So Oliver Spence back to 2nd place, relegates Daniel Barton to 3rd. The 2 behind have really extended their gap as well. So the 23 of Alex Gaskin has pushed on ahead of Stanley Kearley. He's created a nice gap back to Stanley now. And Alex Gaskin has pushed on. And is closing in towards those leaders at the front of the order. It made a good suggestion there. Get the live timing up on the phone. At least I can talk you through the action then from the phone. Still not working on the laptop. I have no idea why. But either way, we can at least guide you through the rest of this race. Right. Bit of a defensive prowess being put on by the number 90 at the moment. So Oliver Spence holding on through the Haynes loop under pressure from Daniel Barton. And now Alex Gaskin right on their rear bumper. So apologies about that this site cannot be reached on your screen at the moment. What we'll do is see if I can move that over to being the grid for the moment. There you go. So there's the grid for this race currently out on circuit at the moment. I'll pop the live timing back up as soon as I have it back. Oliver Spence still in second place then, in behind. Looks like they might have been chopping and changing, and they have. Alex Gaskin has made the move on Daniel Barton. Up to third place goes Alex Gaskin then. 15 seconds left to go on the timer. So next time around, Arthur Way is going to see the last lap board. 36 under a bit of pressure down into the Haynes loop. Alex Roach, that is your top-rated novice, under pressure from the second novice, the 78 of Henry Duncan. Henry thought about it down into the Haynes loop, but just backed out of the move down the inside before making any contact. Side by side for second place though into midgets. Could this be it for Alex Gaskin? He goes down the inside, and I think the 23 has snuck through into second place there. We got second, third and fourth all line astern down the inside once again at Climate. That was the 90 of Oliver Spence trying to fight back but wasn't able to do so. So now Alex Gaskin finds himself in P2. And the number 90 of Oliver Spence actually having to be a little bit defensive through Haynes Loop. Still under pressure from Daniel Barton as they get to the exit at Johnny's. But Daniel unable to force a move. Move down the inside of Haynes Loop. So this time Henry Duncan's under pressure from Tyler Banks in behind. Move for 10th place from Tyler Banks. Gets it done. Round the outside. Seth Jones tries to follow him through and I think does so. So Seth Jones up into 11th place there on the last lap of the race. Through into midgets comes Arthur Way though, down into Climate. Once again, another stellar performance from Arthur Way. The checkered flag comes out and it will be Arthur Way who sees it first once again. Through for second place though, Alex Gaskin. He's very happy with that. Pumps his fist in the air and he's super proud of his performance, as he should be. What a run through the pack there from Alex Gaskin. 5th to second place, impressive stuff from the number 23. Oliver Spence rounds out the podium in the second Honda Cadet heat of the day. With Daniel Barton at the back of that little pack having settled for 4th place. Stanley Kearley was in 5th with Alfie Allen there at the front of the next pack in 6th place. Behind him, Oliver Ratton, Kobe Wood, Tyler Banks, Alex Roach there, your top 10. Alex Roach, your top novice there in 10th place. Seth Jones finishing 11th with Max Craven there in 12th place. Henry Duncan in 13th. James Devereaux in 14th. And sadly, we lost Connor Yu there 3 laps before the end. So, sadly for Connor, hopefully we see him out in the next heat of the day. Now, let's look back again. Do we have any live timing back? Nope, still not deciding it wants to play ball here.